If you watched one of my last videos, you should know that I love Dehancer, but now it got even better because there's a new update. With the new Dehancer Pro 7 version, they made some really cool changes. For example, now you can choose some presets, for example for film grain and halation, and even for bloom, film damage, film brief, gate weave. That's actually something I missed in the last version, so it's pretty cool that they added that feature. If you want to use Dehancer for your color grading, it's pretty easy to use because you just drop it onto a node and then you can even choose a camera profile if you want to. You can also work in DaVinci Wide Gamut or even ACES, but in this case I want to work in Rec 709, so we leave it like that. And then I also don't want to use Kodak Vision 3 250D. Instead I want to use Kodak Vision 350D, and then we can go to film compression, activate that because that's also pretty cool. With iPhone footage you shouldn't push the film compression too far because the highlights in iPhone footage are already pretty low, so you don't need that much film compression. So we'd leave it at like I think 22. Then we go to print, and there we want to use Kodak 2383 in this case, but I also like the Fujifilm one. This also looks pretty cool, but in this case I want to use the Kodak one, and I want to push the color density, maybe even the tonal contrast a bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then we can choose a film grain profile. In this case I want to use the 60mm, and then I want to activate the halation and also use 60mm Super 16. That looks pretty good in my opinion. Of course, if it's too strong for you, you can also use the custom profile and then you can set it all by yourself. But in this case, I want to use the preset because it's pretty cool. And I think it's also pretty cool that we have the chance to use a preset instead of doing it all by ourselves. Then I also want to activate bloom, and I want to try out, of course, again the 60mm because I want it to be all the same. So we only use the 60mm one. And also for the film damage, of course. I think we can leave it like that. That looks pretty good in my opinion. So that's before and that's after, so it's making a huge difference. And also it was really fast because we had our presets and we didn't have to do so much. So that's why I love Dehancer, because you get the film look so extremely fast. So now we can copy this grade by clicking on this clip here, pressing Command C, pressing on the clip we want to copy it to, and then Command V, and now it's copied and pasted on this clip, and it also looks pretty cool. And by the way, this is all iPhone footage. So if you ask yourself if you can use Dehancer with iPhone footage, the answer is yes, because I use a lot of iPhone footage and I use a lot of Dehancer. So I can confirm that you can use iPhone footage with Dehancer. In this case, I maybe want to increase the color density even more because of the red of the Coke. So that looks pretty cool in my opinion. If we increase the color density, if we turn it all the way down, it doesn't look that good. So we turn it almost all the way up, maybe at 74. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then I maybe want to warm it up by using the temperature slider and maybe a little bit of magenta because that's missing there a bit. It's more on the yellow side in my opinion. So the big problem with iPhone footage is if you're just starting to record and you don't lock the white balance changes all the time. So this is in this case really blue. So if you're new to Dehancer and you don't know what changed in the new version, they added this film damage feature, so now you can add film damage to your footage. And then of course they added the profiles here, for example with 8mm, 60mm, 35 or 65. That wasn't there before. You only had the option to do it all by yourself and you didn't have these presets. Then they increased the maximum film grain size. They also fixed some bugs and also improved the performance. And what I also should mention is that they changed the price, so it's a bit more expensive right now, but you can get 10% off with the code in the description. So if you want to buy a Dehancer and you want to get some discount, you can use the code. So that's it. If you want to learn how to color grade iPhone footage, you can click on the video on the screen right now. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next video.